right, so Arsenal will welcome Real Madrid to the Emirates Stadium for the first leg of the first quarterfinal round of games in the UEFA Champions League. So Arsenal head into this particular fixture at the back of a 1-1 draw away at the Goodison Park in the Premier League, while Real Madrid themselves, they lost to Valencia for the first time since 2008 at home in the league, with both teams poised for victory. You know, there are 15 titles of Champions League titles between the two sides heading into this particular round of fixture. But you look at the injury list for Arsenal. Ricardo Calafiori will be out with a knee injury. Gabriel Michales also sustained a hamstring injury the last time Arsenal were in action. Gabriel Jesus is also missing, same as Kai Havertz. Raheem Sterling also has an accumulated yellow card, and then also Takehiro Tomiyasu will be out for Arsenal. But for Real Madrid, they also face some big injury concerns because Dani Carvajal will be out with a knee injury. Dani Ceballos is out. Eder Militao has been out for quite some time now. And even to add more salt to their wounds, Andrew Lunin, who is their backup goalkeeper for Thibaut Courtois, has also been ruled out with a calf injury. Ferland Mendy will be out with an hamstring injury, and then also you have Aurelien Tchouameni also being suspended for an accumulation of cards. So the two teams will be poised to win, but then the players to watch in this particular game would definitely be Bukayo Saka, who made a return for Arsenal in their league game against Fulham a couple of days ago. He also featured in that 1-1 draw against Everton, but failed to make any impact. Kylian Mbappé would also be one of the players to watch for Real Madrid after that interesting, second half of the campaign for the Los Blancos. He's also netted 10 times in 16 games against English opponents in the UEFA Champions League. 4 of these goals came in this season's 2 games against Manchester City in the playoff round, where he scored a hat-trick, and then also 1 goal in the second leg. So that's it. Arsenal taking on Real Madrid. Big game coming on in the UEFA Champions League. I don't know, it's very difficult to predict, but I'll definitely go for an Arsenal win at home against Real Madrid. Now to the Allianz Arena, where Bayern Munich would also be facing Inter Milan. So it's a Bayern Munich side coming up against the best defensive side in the UEFA Champions League this season. Bayern Munich got themselves a 3-1 win away at Augsburg heading into this fixture, while Inter Milan, after taking a 2-0 lead over Parma in the Serie A, were held to a 2-2 draw after 90 minutes, with both teams boasting of top place in their respective leagues. So Bayern Munich are still top in the German Bundesliga, whilst Inter Milan also are top of the Italian Serie A. But for Bayern Munich, they might miss the services of Kingsley Coman, who is out with a thigh injury. Alphonso Davies also picked up a knee injury. Jamal Musiala might not be fit enough to pass that fitness test with a muscle injury. There's Manuel Neuer also ruled out for the next 3 or 4 weeks with a calf injury, and then also Dayo Upamecano, the rock-solid defender, would not be featured for Bayern Munich in this game. For Inter Milan, there's still the absence of Mehdi Taremi and then also Piotr Zielinski. Both key players might not be able to feature in this game for Inter Milan. Now let's take a look at the key battles which players could make the most impact for their teams in this crunch fixture. So Leroy Sané has made 4 goal contributions across his last 3 Bayern Munich appearances. Leroy Sané was also on target for Bayern Munich the last time these two teams met, when Bayern Munich beat Inter Milan by 2-0. Now, one player for Inter Milan whom might be of so much help would be their right wing back, Denzel Dumfries. Denzel Dumfries would be the danger man for Inter Milan, who could be unleashed sometimes down the right hand side of attack for Inter Milan. Mind you that these two teams also met in 2010 when Jose Mourinho was the manager of Inter Milan, and Inter Milan beat Bayern Munich 2-0 in the grand finale to lift the UEFA Champions League in that time. I'll be forced to go for a Bayern Munich win against Inter Milan, looking at how good they've been at home and also looking at the fact that Harry Kane could be scoring for the Bavarians in that one. All right, so to the Stadio Olympic Luis Companys is the home ground of Barcelona, where Barcelona would be engaging Borussia Dortmund in the first leg of the quarter-final stage. So Barcelona unfortunately dropped points in the La Liga heading into this game when they were held to a frustrating 1-1 draw by Real Betis in the game where we didn't see the front line of Barcelona at their best. And they come up against a Dortmund side that were in a free-scoring mood in their Bundesliga game against Freiburg over the weekend. Unfortunately for Barcelona, they might not have the services of Dani Olmo, who suffered a groin injury a couple of weeks ago. Marc-Andre ter Stegen is also not fully fit to make it in this game. And then also Marc Casado will be out with a knee injury. So the midfielder has been ruled out for till the end of the season. And then to Borussia Dortmund, Pascal Gross is suspended for accumulated yellow cards. And then also Marcel Sabitzer is out with a knee injury. Now, let's quickly take a look at the players to watch in this big game at the Luis Companys, where for Barcelona, their star man could be Rafinha, who has contributed to 16 goals in 10 UEFA Champions League appearances just this season. So only Lionel Messi in the 2011-2012 season has been involved in more goals at this same stage in a single edition for Barcelona. But then for Borussia Dortmund, their dribbling wizard, Jamie Gittins, could be the star man to watch out for. He has always been a star, very good dribbler with the ball at his feet. And then also don't forget that the marksman in Shehu Guirassy could also be very pivotal if Borussia Dortmund has a chance to at least nick something from this game. It's definitely going to be a difficult game, but then I'll tip Barcelona to win, looking at the fact that they are the highest scoring team in Europe and they have some lethal weapons up front. Now to one other game coming up in Paris. It will be at the Parc des Princes, where it's Paris Saint-Germain taking on the resurgent Aston Villa side led by Paris Saint-Germain former manager Unai Emery. So PSG were crowned champions of the Ligue 1, and that's very, very early for them after they got themselves a win over Angers. It was a narrow one, a 1-0 win. They actually went into that game needing just a draw to become champions of the Ligue 1. But then for Paris Saint-Germain, they might not be with their Korean star man Kang In Lee, and then also their Brazilian defender, that's Marquinhos. But then to Aston Villa, no one actually gave a chance to actually make it to the last 8 of the UEFA Champions League. They'll be without Dorian Merlin and then also Alex Garcia in the setup. PSG will be favourite to win this particular one after bagging their Ligue 1 title, their first trophy of the season. PSG also managed to beat Liverpool and route to the stage of the competition, whilst Aston Villa managed to get a win over Belgian side Club Brugge. Now to the players we could watch out for, it's Paris Saint-Germain, it's Ousmane Dembele, who has scored 11 goals in the UEFA Champions League. So he's actually scored 11 of his last 12 UEFA Champions League goals before the 60th minute mark, which tells you how instrumental he's been for Paris Saint-Germain. And then also to Aston Villa, they are loanee from Manchester United, Marcus Rashford. He has also scored a joint career high 3 goals against Paris Saint-Germain, scoring on both proud visits to the Parc des Princes. So it's always ranged goals in games involving these two sides. It's the first time these two teams will be meeting in the UEFA Champions League. And Paris Saint-Germain will be poised after knocking out an eventual favorite or title favorite, Liverpool. They'll be hoping that they could get the better of a side being led by their former manager in Aston Villa. They also have a loanee at Aston Villa who is also playing so well. That's Marco Asensio. He scored 7 goals so far for Aston Villa since joining on loan from Paris Saint-Germain. My prediction for this game, I'll definitely go for a PSG win in the first leg of this quarterfinal tie.